The fourth season of Singles Inferno has been a huge disappointment for longtime fans of the show, and while many issues have been pointed out by viewers, the most discussed problem is how everything about this season is clearly fake. This isn't a new issue for Singles Inferno, and since the first season became a huge success when it aired in 2021, netizens have been arguing whether the show is scripted or real. Many viewers have pointed out how it's basically impossible for the contestants to fall in love with each other, since the time they spend together on the deserted island known as Inferno is extremely short. Since the participants don't know each other and their time together is very limited, the conversations between them often feel awkward, insincere, and even forced, to the point that many viewers find these moments hard to watch. Despite this, the cast members are still somehow able to fall in love with each other, and they're expected to start a long-lasting relationship after meeting on the show. However, this has basically never happened, and the fate of every couple formed on Singles Inferno seems to be a proof of how the feelings of the participants for each other aren't even real. Across the first 3 seasons of the show, 10 couples got together and they were seemingly so in love with each other to start dating for real. While many fans wanted these relationships to continue for a long time, every single couple has later broken up, often just shortly after the season they starred in finished airing. Even the only apparently successful couple, Jo Young-jae and Choi So-eun, who got together in the second season, have broken up, meaning that not a single contestant of Singles Inferno has found the love of their life thanks to the show. It's clearly very difficult to fall in love after spending just a few days together, but seeing how the contestants often look like they completely fell for each other on the show, many viewers think that they're simply faking their feelings. In fact, countless netizens never believed that the show was real, and speculation that everything was scripted ran rampant online as soon as the first season of Singles Inferno was released. This wouldn't be something new for Korean reality shows, since many were later revealed to be scripted, so netizens were understandably skeptical about how genuine the contestants were being. The most popular contestant of the first season of Singles Inferno, Song Ji-a, addressed this issue while talking about her experience on the show. She completely refuted the claims that the show was scripted, explaining that everyone acted however they wanted, and adding that she never planned her actions to get a certain reaction from viewers. However, she also said that she understood why people thought that Singles Inferno was scripted, and that the amount of drama in the series made it seem more like a soap opera than a reality show. Nevertheless, most netizens simply didn't believe her, and many kept thinking that the show was fake. Interestingly, Ji-a also argued that the first season of Singles Inferno couldn't have been faked because none of the contestants were experienced actors, meaning that it would have been too hard for them to follow a script. However, the situation is very different in the fourth season, which instead had several actors among the cast, some of which already had a ton of experience in the world of entertainment. This has caused a lot of discussion among netizens, as many felt disappointed that the fourth season only featured actors, idols, and influencers, while most viewers wanted to see common people on the show. Because of this, netizens immediately complained, arguing that none of the participants even cared about the show, and they only starred in it to boost their careers and grow their social media following. Also, since this time the cast actually features various experienced actors, some netizens began wondering whether this season has truly been scripted. So, netizens were already skeptical about the true nature of the show even before it began to air, and things only got worse after seeing the first few episodes, with many viewers convinced that the fourth season had been entirely faked. Longtime viewers of Singles Inferno explained how the new season felt much more scripted than the previous ones, pointing out various issues that suggest how the show was totally faked. One netizen argued that the contestants don't actually live on a deserted island, but instead, the filming is carefully scheduled with specific shooting times. In fact, many dating shows often have a much more natural vibe, showing contestants going to bed, waking up, getting ready, and living their daily lives quite normally. However, this doesn't really happen with Singles Inferno, in which the actions of the participants often seem overly polished and even staged. While we don't know if this has been the case for every season, the fourth season made it very evident that the participants weren't really struggling to survive on a deserted island, removing many challenges that at least made the show more interesting. In the earlier seasons, the cast members had to do various laborious activities, such as preparing their own food and transporting pails of water, and this forced the participants to collaborate and interact more. However, in the fourth season, the cast didn't have to do any of these activities, and the lack of those bonding moments made the show much more boring. Also, the cast of the fourth season had comfortable beds and even a swimming pool, which makes it extremely clear that the participants aren't having a hard time as the producers want viewers to believe. In fact, the location where the 4th season was filmed isn't even a deserted island at all, but it's actually a small, privately owned island where several Korean TV shows have been filmed. Being a private island, it's not easily accessible to the public, but it's not far removed from civilization, as the show suggests. Instead, the island is located just off the coast of Incheon, not far from Seoul. However, the most evident sign that the show is scripted is the way the cast acts. First of all, it seems like the producers keep casting people with almost identical personalities to fill a certain role on the show, as many have pointed out similarities between contestants such as Jia in season 1 and Lee Seon in season 4. Many think that the production team is just lazy, and they want to fill the same archetypes every season by simply tweaking the participants' outfits and makeup to fit the roles. After 4 seasons, it's now clear that the producers are pushing for the same repetitive storyline every time, and they're even recycling characters, making it more and more evident that everything is fake. The actions of the cast make it even more obvious that there's nothing real about the show, and this was painfully evident in the 4th season, in which every participant was clearly just trying to promote themselves rather than finding love. Some netizens even argued that since many of the cast members are already signed with entertainment agencies, they've been included in the show only because their companies want to boost their careers and make money, as it's obvious that some contestants don't care about the show at all. One of the most noticeable examples of this behavior is how Jung Theo has acted throughout the entire 4th season. He's already an established actor who has appeared in several international projects and has also won an award for his acting abilities, and he has always made it clear that he's aiming for a career in Hollywood. Since his first appearance, many started to believe that he never cared about Singles Inferno at all, and as time went on, it became more and more evident that everything he was doing on the show was just a way to boost his popularity. The first sign of this is how he immediately became infatuated with Seon, the most popular female contestant on the show, and it was evident that he was only doing this as a way to get more screen time and be featured more prominently on the show. Also, Theo's funny and caring personality initially attracted the attention of viewers, who at one point even regarded him as the best man on the show, but with each new episode it became more clear that he was only acting like that in front of the cameras to win the audience. Netizens are now convinced that Theo has faked his entire personality and has entered the show with a carefully crafted persona that would be liked by viewers. However, he isn't the only one who did this, and some viewers have pointed out that every member of the cast was actually acting. A painfully obvious example of this is how Bae Ji-yeon and Kim Tae-hwan suddenly chose to date each other. They were the 2 members of the cast who were featured the least among those introduced in the first episode. So many netizens believe that they only chose each other as a way to boost their screen time on the show. Others have pointed at Seon's weird behavior as another example of how she was actually acting, since for a long time she couldn't choose between Theo, Yuk Jun-seo, and Kim Jong-soo. Some have also argued that the obvious favoritism of the producers and the panelists towards Seon and their constant criticism of Jung Yoo-jin is another sign of how the production team has faked the show, leading it towards the conclusion they wanted. However, the producers' plan hasn't worked out well, and actually backfired, as most viewers have been disappointed in the final couples and the overall direction of the show. Netizens feel like there's nothing genuine anymore about Singles Inferno, and after the controversial and exhausting 4th season, many have had enough of this show and want to see a new dating series that feels more real and unscripted.